In Lekutei Sichos Chelik Vav, you find a strange thing. At the end of the Sefer, after the Hosafa is on the Sefer, there's a separate sharblat which says the word Hosafa, and after that is printed a Hosafa, and it says L'Sicha Ha'alef the Parsha Shmeis. This is a Hosafa to the first Sicha of Parsha Shmeis in this volume. And there's a star there, and it says it's from the Sichos Shabbos Parshas Va'era Tovshin Chof Tes, which is a beer to the Sicha, the first Sicha in Lekutei Sichos Chelik Vav of Parsha Shmeis. And then it says Hanoche built in Muga, so it's a Hanoche, not Muga. So it's a strange thing that here we have a Hosafa to that Sicha. It's a separate Hosafa. It's not part of the rest of the Hosafas. And plus, it's Hanoche built in Muga. It's not Muga from the Rebbe. Where do we find in the Lekutei Sichos printed a Sicha which is Hanoche built in Muga? As far as I remember, I think this is the only place where we have Hanoche built in Muga in Lekutei Sichos. What is the inyan behind it? There must be something behind this. So let me explain what happened. In the year Tovshin Chof Tes, the Rebbe was not Magia weekly Sichos. Just because of certain reasons, as I think I explained once, a few times during the year, the Rebbe was Magia special Sicha. One of the Shabbosim was Shabbos Parsha Shmeis Tovshin Chof Tes. The Rebbe was Magia a special Likud for that Shabbos. And the Likud was a Sicha from Tovshin Chof Hei. And in that Sicha, it said that when it comes to giving a kiss, you only could give a kiss to somebody when the person feels it, like he's not asleep, when he's awake. Versus when you speak about a person and call him and mention his name, which also shows love, that could be done even if the person doesn't feel it, is not around, he could be far. But the kiss you have to give when he feels. That's what it says in the Sicha. So after that Sicha came out, after Shabbos, a question was asked by the Rebbe, that according to what the Rebbe says there, that when there's no such thing as giving a kiss when the person is asleep or is not aware of it. So we find a Sikh of the Frierdiker Rebbe where he says that when he was a little baby and was laying in his crib, his father had the desire to give him a kiss. But instead of a kiss, he wrote a maimer and gave it to him later. So here we see that there is such a thing as giving a kiss when the person doesn't feel it because he's a little tiny baby. And he was asleep, I think, in the crib. So the Rebbe answered that there we're talking about wanting to give a kiss. Wanting to give a kiss is one thing, but giving a kiss is a different thing. So Shabbos Bafabreng, Shabbos Parshas Va'era Tovshin Chof Tes, the Rebbe spoke about it. And he said that they asked the Shaila from the Favor from the Sicha, some Sicha from the Rebbe, from the Frierdiker Rebbe, Vimi frekt azay antwortman. You asked from there, I answered from there. But really the kasha is from a clear posik. The posik says that after Yankov Avinu passed away, it says Yosef kissed him. So here we see for sure that it's possible to kiss even if he isn't feeling, he's not aware because he had passed away. And the Rebbe went into the whole thing to answer al Chassidus that there is two levels in the union of neshike and kissing, and one is shaychas only if the person feels it and is aware, the other one is not shaychas. He calls it neshiking kfulin, as it says in Chassidus, a double type of neshike, etc., etc. Now, when this likud of Tovshin Chof Tes Parsha Shmeis went into a sefer, because after the next year, Lamed and Lamed Aleph, when these 2 years where the Rebbe was Magia weekly Sicha, so it turned into the Sforim. So Chumash Shmeis was Chelik Vov. So the Sicha from Tovshin Chof Tes, that likud also went in. So you have 3 Sichas to Parsha Shmeis. So when it was the sefer was printed, there was a svara to say that since this Sicha is very important to explain something that it says in the likud, that likud which is printed in the first Sicha of Chelik Vov, so it's important to get this beer because people will learn the Sicha and they'll wonder, how does it say in the Sicha that it's not possible to give a kush, to give a kiss, when the person is not aware, when here by Yankov Avinu we see. So this Svara came up to ask the Rebbe to be Magia the Sicha, to prepare the Sicha, the way you prepare a Sicha, not for a likud, but especially for the Sefer, to prepare this Sicha in asking this kasha and giving the teretz and giving it into the Rebbe should be Magia, not as a likud, not to come out in any other form or shape, but just it should come at the end of the Sefer Chelik Vov, so this should be a beer on what it says in the first Sicha in Chelik Vov. The Sicha was prepared like a regular Sicha with the things that the Rebbe said, and it's something going on the bottom, something is going on top, and Uizgitaich things that the Rebbe said, like it was regularly prepared and was given into the Rebbe, and wrote to the Rebbe that we want to add this to the end of the Sefer Chelik Vov. The Rebbe answered, Ein Hazman Gromel Hagia, I don't have the time to be Magia, and therefore he wrote, Yachlitu ba'atzmon, you guys yourself decide whether you want to print it as is. And if I remember correctly, the Rebbe even added like a lotion that you should have, like siyata d'shmaya, you should have a schus that you shouldn't make any mistake. Since he's not magia yet, he gave like a broch. I don't remember if he wrote schus harabi misayayto or something like that, but he wrote something, and there was a whole discussion in the Vad by us whether we should actually put it in or not, because the Rebbe was not Magiya it, and the Rebbe wrote Yachlitu Batzman. You should decide yourself. The bottom line, we decided that since the Rebbe allowed it, he said, decide yourself, which means if you decide, it's okay. And the Rebbe also, I think, gave, like I said, a certain bracha that you should be mechavan to the truth. So we decided to put it in. And that's why this is not regular from the regular Hosafa, another Sicha that goes into the Hosafa, Lekutei Sichos. Any Sicha that's Muga, that's not part of the series of Lekutei Sichos, goes into the Hosafa. Most of them. A few went into the original, in the first part of Lekutei Sichos, but most didn't. But this is separate. This is a separate Hosafa for itself, and it says there this is for the Sicha Alu to Parsha Shmeis, and this is from the Farbrengen of Parsha Vayra Tovshin Chavtes, which is a beer to that Sicha, and we left it with the words Hanoch built in Megaz because it is not Muga. But nevertheless, we hope that everything is Mechuven, because the Rebbe said that if you decide yourself, and if you decide obviously, then print it as you gave it into the Rebbe, so it's printed as it's given into the Rebbe. So hopefully it's Meduyik. Because the Rebbe said, especially if the Rebbe, I think, gave a certain bracha that you should be mechavan, so hopefully it was mechuvim, but we left it as a separate entity, so it's not printed anywhere, it wasn't a likud anywhere, it was given into the Rebbe, especially for this sefer as a separate thing at the end, and that's how it stayed, and that's how it's printed in Chelik Vov.